Yo, what's going on, guys? Coach Stefan here, aka Click Clack, owner of InTension Athletics. I just wanted to come on. It's gonna be a quick video. I wanted to give you my top 5 biggest considerations or tips that you guys should take into account when you are trying to go into the new year with all your resolutions. Specifically, if you're trying to focus on trying to get leaner, so cut down your body fat while you're trying to build muscle mass, right? So that's the goal that we come across most often as trainers in the new year. People want to lose weight, people want to put on muscle, right? So the first thing I want to talk about, so the first tip is going to be making sure that you are taking an approach that is not considered a sprint, because this is a marathon, right? When you're trying to change your lifestyle, you want to make sure that you're not doing too aggressive of an approach. So for example, a lot of times people come and they're saying, okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start working out every day or 6 days out of the week. That's not really realistic for most people. And then also too, if you take that approach where you're training every day, you're lifting every day, you're doing a whole bunch of cardio, maybe you can be consistent with that for 2 weeks. Even that's kind of a stretch, but let's say you're consistent with that for 2 weeks, right? Are you gonna be consistent with that the whole year? Probably not. So it's a much more realistic approach for you to say, okay, I'm gonna start weight training maybe 3 times per week if you've never done it before. Or maybe if you already do 3 times per week, maybe you up it to 4 or 5 times per week. But it's not ideal to go 0 to 100. Another problem with that situation is if you do go 0 to 100, you might end up being very sore. You're gonna burn out and you're gonna crash, right?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
So then you're gonna see all these people go to the gym in January. Maybe some of them will make it to February, but how many of you guys are gonna make it to March, especially if you're taking that extreme approach? So that's number 1, make sure that you make it more realistic for you to be consistent throughout the year, because it's not just about being a sprint, this is a marathon, okay? Number 2, nutrition is key. So don't just focus on what you're doing in the gym. Don't just focus on how much you're lifting, how much cardio you're doing. Also focus on how many calories you're eating. Focus on how much protein, carbs, and fat. So your macronutrients, focus on where you're at with that and try to be consistent with that. Make sure that it aligns with your goal. So if you're trying to get leaner, then you need to make sure you're consistently in a caloric deficit. If you're trying to put on more size, then you need to make sure you're in a calorie surplus, right? So nutrition is key. And I want you guys to make sure that you understand that and know that if you don't really know how many calories you're eating, you don't know what your macros are, it's gonna be that much harder for you to really achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve. Number 3, I want you guys to make sure that you're tracking your progress in and out of the gym. And not just progress, tracking in general in and out of the gym. So when I say in the gym, what I mean is making sure that you are kind of keeping tabs on the different things that you've done in the past when it comes to workout selection, the weight that you used, the reps that you did. That way you can actually make sure that you're progressing over time. So for example, if you're doing, we'll just do a really basic exercise, right? Like if you're doing bench press and you did 135 for 8 reps last week and that's what you failed at, right? So maybe next week you try to do 9 reps, 10 reps, whatever it is. Or maybe you go up to 145 and you see that type of increase, that type of progression upward, right? So that's what we mean when we talk about progressive overload. Are you getting stronger? And if you're not keeping tabs on that, it's gonna be really difficult for you to know and go into the workout with that mindset of, okay, I'm gonna get a little bit stronger, I'm gonna do a little bit more reps. That type of thinking and that type of programming is very important. You also wanna make sure that you're following a program in general. You shouldn't just kind of go into the gym aimlessly. That's not really ideal. Of course, it's better than nothing, but if you have the proper program, especially if it's designed for you and your goals, then you're gonna be in a lot better place moving forward. So I definitely suggest you do that as well. When I talk about outside of the gym, we've already kind of spoke about nutrition, so make sure you're tracking your calories, but other things like your sleep. Are you getting the ideal amount of sleep? Things like water as well. Are you drinking enough water? Also, maybe you have vitamins that you're trying to hit. Maybe you have other goals that might kind of align with fitness as well. Maybe you're trying to have a little bit more education about fitness. So maybe you're trying to track how much information you're consuming that is quality information. So tracking can definitely be useful in and out of the gym. And just so you guys know, the app that we use for all of our clients does allow you to track your progress, because of course we believe that is something that's very important to your progression. And then also too, we have different type of ways that we try to make sure that we're monitoring things that we like to track, like your sleep, obviously your calories. We also have like meditation. Some people want to focus on their meditation. Some people want to focus on making sure they hit 10K steps per day. So all those things are useful. And if you want a tracker sheet, just shoot me a message and I can go ahead and send you over one of our tracking sheets. But of course, if you're one of our clients, you will already have that. Tip number 4 is all about making this a lifestyle and don't be too restricting. So it kind of goes back to tip number 1, where I said it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Similar concept here, but what I want to really focus on in this little tip is making sure that you understand that if you are too restrictive, especially when it comes to your nutrition, you're more likely to fail. So if you go from 0 to 100 and you're eliminating everything. You're doing diets like keto. You're doing things where maybe you decide you're gonna go completely vegan because you think that's a healthier option. Whatever it is, a lot of times those situations don't normally end well because you're kind of doing something that you're obviously not used to, and you're more likely to fall off and then just go right back to where you were before. So this is a lifestyle approach. That's why we don't really program keto diets. We don't program someone to be vegan because we feel it's healthier. We try to implement foods that you enjoy, but in moderation and under the umbrella of your overall macronutrients that we believe is ideal for your goal. So that way you can still have some of the foods that you enjoy. It's just a matter of moderation. It's a matter of, okay, is this still within my macros for the day? And we believe that that approach long-term is the more ideal approach. Even if you're following a meal plan that is not keto, it still includes all the macronutrients. It can be difficult to follow a meal plan every single day, and that's not realistic to maintain in the long run. So maybe you need a meal plan to start, but becoming educated on how to make different adjustments to the meal plan or different substitutions into the meal plan is going to be really critical for you to see results in the long term and make it a lifestyle to the point where you no longer need a meal plan. You can just intuitively eat and you can have a good understanding, okay, this is how many calories this is how many macros this is, and that's going to allow you to see success long-term and make it a lifestyle. Tip number 5 is join a community of like-minded individuals. So obviously, the more time you spend around people with similar interests, the more likely you're gonna be able to adhere to it because the surroundings, your environment, everyone's going this way, right? And it can be the opposite. So if you are in an environment where everyone is kind of going shh, you're more likely to do that. So I got to think about the famous quote that people say. I'll put it up on the screen or something. But you're the equivalent of the 5 people around you or something like this. I forget how it goes, but that's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. So put yourself in a situation where you actually have people that are motivating and inspired to do the same type of things, to be healthier. And I know a lot of times that can be difficult because you can't always change your environment, you can't always change the people around you, but you can do your best to find a different group of people, whether it's virtually, if you can't do it in your actual physical surroundings. So you have all these online platforms where people are sharing positive education when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition. So put yourself in those environments, oversaturate yourself with this type of information that allows you to no longer have to see all the negative stuff that you may see on social media. If you're watching all these food clips of people eating pizza and cake, you're probably going to be more likely to go ahead and eat some pizza and cake. Whereas if you're watching all these videos of people putting in work in the gym, putting in work with proper eating and meal prep, you're more likely to actually learn a couple things from that and apply it in your own life as well. So join a community, make sure that you're watching what you're consuming as far as the stuff you watch on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. Make sure it's valuable content that you're going to be able to apply to your life. And I think that those 5 tips will really allow you to have a successful 2023 fitness resolution instead of falling back and having to go back into 2024 and have the same resolutions that you had going into 2023. So hopefully this video helped, guys. If you like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, guys, good luck in 2023. If you need any help from me, of course, I'm your guy. You can just shoot me a message. We have different type of platforms for different type of people in different type of situations. So I feel very confident that we can find something that will help you hit your 2023 goals. All right, guys, stay blessed. Talk soon. Peace.